Intro? Nick? Intro? I'm going to keep trying until you do it. All right, everybody, welcome back to another Field of Food podcast. We're going to kind of talk just about what we have coming up for the rest of the season for us. It's late December now, and DJ and I are probably going to go up till the end of season for deer, but other than that, I think we're just going to be talking some squirrel hunting and some late season tactics.
Yeah, that's probably about it.
Yeah. So our hunt is a hunt that actually my wife and I just wrapped up, and it's a controlled hunt that we went through a lottery for to get on this property. And on paper, you think it would stack out perfectly to where it's a reserve. This is the second year that you've been allowed to hunt it, maybe third year. But it took us 8 days to get a single deer on camera, and that's with corn piles.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Especially for a nature preserve.
Yeah.
Well, that's also been hunted the entire season too,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you get a few guys that don't know what they're doing, and they could blow the place out.
Yeah.
I'll bet you the guys that got in there the first week.
Oh yeah. If they knew what to do, they probably cleaned house.
Sounded like all of October was pretty good because we actually spoke with one of the park rangers, and she and her son drew it for those last 2 weeks of October, and they got 3 deer out of there.
Wow.
So.
You hear any big bucks coming out of there this year?
No, and we figured we'd catch a couple on camera. I think we had 2 basket 4s and I think maybe a 6. That was it. And shocked that we couldn't find anything bigger than that or consistent.
Well, by the time your guys' hunt comes in, it's going to be, when is that? Like the
last 2 weeks of January.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're going to be out of guns. And you got to think too, even if a lot of guys drew for that time, most guys probably aren't even going to go.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to pull the last 2 weeks of season hunt. They wanted to pull the first 2 weeks or November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're liable to have the whole place to yourself.
I wouldn't be mad. So I think
I've been holding on to my buck tag all year, and
I know.
By choice, right? By choice?
Yeah, hoping that you can find the big guy in there, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Now, I've seen deer move into areas mid-January,
Yeah,
so it's still possible,
Yeah.
but there's no strong food source in there. It's a lot of browse, and it's a lot of oak trees, and that's it. And most of that's been picked through or too pressured to where the deer aren't touching it. If they do, obviously it's going to be at night.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bake the Jesus out of that place. It's gonna be piles
see
of
what
corn.
happens.
One thing I did learn at our place, at least, we found a guy not too far from our house that was selling baled alfalfa. And when there was snow on the ground, they tore it up. But as soon as the snow melted, they wanted nothing to do with it.
Really?
I put it behind my house every year.
Yeah.
If it's cold,
terrible.
if it's cold and there's snow on the ground, they will destroy it. If it's like right now where it's 40 degrees and just these misty, rainy, shitty weather,
Yeah.
it'll
They
just
won't touch
rot.
it.
Yep.
Huh.
Just,
Keep that in mind for your hunt. If it's cold and snowy, you got snow on the ground, and it's down in like the 20s and the teens.
Yep. I'll get some if it is because I got I buy them from that farmer every year.
Well,
All those guys in Saskatchewan hunt over a dump truckload of alfalfa every time you watch a video.
So because it's a controlled hunt on a preserve, we can only bring in certain types of bait because they don't.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They don't want it
Yeah.
spreading it into the actual natural growth and vegetation. So
Yeah,
we have to use whole corn that can't be shelled or cracked. And then I think that was it, wasn't it? I think it was just corn.
So I
Yeah, 'cause
can't
you couldn't put
bring
rocks or
kudzu in.
anything. Can't what?
I can't bring kudzu into this place
No.
and just completely destroy the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Because I want to shoot an 80-pound doe.
Yeah, because we couldn't put. We talked about that because he can't put like a block or anything. It's got
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
Can't even use mineral lick.
nope.
That's
Nope.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just corn.
Which I still
Shelled
have
corn.
3 bags from our hunt, so don't worry about buying any, because we're not going to use them, and I'm not going to use them for gun or muzzleloader at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just going to be taking the gun for a walk and seeing if I can get lucky. I'm still trying to work on that property for us for muzzleloader. I don't know if you guys would be interested in a weekend hunt down south, but I'm trying to get us a place to stay. So there's actually a group of us that
There you go.
can go up for
To hunt some public or
muzzleloader.
something.
Some public, but from what I understand, the landowner who has the cabin on it has 40 doe that he gets consistently on his property, and he wants to herd them a little bit. So if we can get in there and do
Go down there and shoot some does.
a doe hunt for him, I think that'd work out great.
Doe Derby.
Yeah, I think it'd be,
that'd be cool.
a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about it just because it's out of my control.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah, you don't want to jinx it.
yeah.
You did.
Yeah, so we had did we talk about the squirrel on the last episode? No.
No.
No, we didn't.
So-
we didn't have. I don't think we had one since you did that.
No.
We haven't had one in a while.
No, it's been 6 weeks since we sat down at this table.
Yeah, because the last time we had it was right before I went in for surgery.
Yeah.
That was the last time.
Yeah, because I really wanted to do one mid-November. That's when everything's like real fresh and
Right,
like,
yeah.
everybody's hunting really
No one
hard.
killed deer in mid-November.
Well, not only that, but I'm asking you guys to take time out of your days, your families, and stuff like that, while you're already doing a lot of extra time away from family because of hunting. Like, no, I think this works out better for it to be like a sandwich version
Right, yeah.
of
Yeah,
convenience.
my dog's cool with it.
my dog's tired of me.
But what you said with the jinx thing, so I got an albino squirrel down south during gun week, and I was on the phone with Casey when I first saw it. I was like, I gotta call Kyle. So I called Kyle. I was like, guess what I just saw? And then I had a buddy call me, and I was telling him about it, and he said, don't you dare shoot that squirrel. And I was like, what? Why? And he's like, it's bad luck. I knew a guy back in the 90s who shot an albino deer, and he lost his medical practice and lost his wife all within 2 years. And then I guess he said he died like 3 or 4 years later. And I was like, I don't know if I want that kind of bad juju.
Well, if you break it down, a deer, that's like, what, the 100 squirrels? You're gonna
Right.
you might lose a toe. And then maybe Casey gets mad at you for a weekend. And I think you'll be fine. You might get a cough. I think you'll be good.
I cut half my fingernail off, and I'm pretty sure I make her mad on a weekly
You
basis.
gotta make sure that he gets
We're
that
good.
Shooting a squirrel.
Yeah, you're fine. You're good. Take that thing.
Well, I called her about it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm actually going to shoot this thing. I'm like, I'm not a superstitious person, but I don't want to, like, in case there is something going on in the world like that, I don't want to wish it onto our family. And then she called her very Catholic mother, and she said that superstition is created by the devil to make people learn to not trust God. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Onward.
I was always told that too. That superstition is basically a form of witchcraft.
Yeah.
Just to clear the air, you said you shot it during gun week and you didn't shoot it with a 350 Legend.
No. I always keep the 20 gauge nearby.
When you said that, you're like, I'm about to shoot this squirrel. And I was like,
When he called me,
why? There's going to be nothing left of this thing.
yeah, he called me. He goes, yeah. He's like, I had the 350 because he was like, I don't know if I should shoot it or not. I had the 350 and I'm checking it out, and I said, I don't know if I'd shoot it with a 350. He's like, no, I was deer hunting and I seen it, and then I went back for the.
No one's going to believe you. Like, I shot this albino squirrel. I shot it with a 350. There ain't nothing left of it, but
No,
like, I got one.
Some 350 rat shot.
And it blew that thing in half.
I told my brother about it. He's like, I shot the tree right next to it so the debris hit it and you can run up and get it. And I was like, I don't think I'm that good of a
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, just go back the next day.
Yeah.
Played your cards right.
Worked out.
No, that's just super cool. That's going to look really cool when it's all mounted and everything.
Yeah, we were looking it up. It was one in 30,000 squirrel wind up being albino.
So does this mean you've seen 30,000 squirrels?
I don't know, but I'm gonna guess you've seen more than I have.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I've shot a ton of squirrels.
What was your count for the year?
Between me and Dad, and then I'll throw Brooke in there. Brooke's killed a couple. We're up to 41 for the year.
And that's crazy because that's not including the squirrels that we've gotten when we've gone.
No, that's just ones I've killed.
Yeah.
Just counting the tails from this year. 41 squirrels, 2 groundhogs. None of which are albino, so they're not cool. but
Dude, you got
they're just average squirrels. Sorry.
got about 11,000 left.
Now I'm having my best year. I think that black squirrel I killed when we went out the other day, I think that was my 30th squirrel for the year.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then I looked at my freezer, I got like 3 left. I'm like, I've been eating the shit out of some squirrels.
I think we've all had a pretty good season so far. I mean, you've kind of hit or miss with the buck that you've been chasing here in Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio's kicking my butt, but
Yeah, but you killed Danny Buck in West Virginia.
Yeah,
I shot a good one in West Virginia.
that worked out pretty well for you. And it's not that you happen to put out the effort. That buck was just,
I should have killed him.
you know.
Yeah, I should have shot him. Just one of them waiting for a better shot. I should have just took it probably.
Yeah.
On a bow buck?
That's all right.
Yeah, I got a big one at home I'm chasing.
Oh, okay.
Probably 150 inch 10 pointer.
There you go.
He's a nice deer.
I had him in the scope and he was
So disappointed.
yeah, I am. I keep playing. I had him for 15 minutes at 25 yards and I should have made it happen, but any time that I've ever done that and I've rushed it, I shot him in the gut.
How do you rush it for 25 minutes?
15 minutes.
Oh, my bad.
25
That's right. Yeah, you rushed.
No, I had a shot, but I was waiting for him to step out from this tree. I needed him to move 3 inches, and I could see his shoulder and probably that much vital. And then it was a tree. I'm like, man, I don't want to shoot and either nick that tree or hit him in the shoulder.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah.
But I had the crossbow. First time I found it with the crossbow.
A lot of crossbow action this year.
Yeah. Well, I sat on the ground. The wind was bad where I was at. I didn't want to take in the saddle and make. Not that they're loud, but where I was at, I felt like this deer was bedded within like 50 yards.
Right.
And I didn't want to chance it. I just went in, snuck in, quiet on the ground. Basically, I cleared a lane to my corn pile, which was off to my left. Every picture I've had, these deer came from this way. Well, to my right here, where there was an old existing scrape, there was a briar bush like from here to the camera. I mean, 6 feet in front of me. And I'm like, nah, they never come from that way. I'm like, I'm not going to trim it. Didn't trim it, and sure as shit, that buck stood there for 10 minutes in that scrape, just pissing, making a scrape. He was tending this little yearling.
Yeah.
And they knew something wasn't right. They never blew, they never ran. They just had that sixth sense, you know.
That spooky edgy
Yeah, and
feel.
they never went to the corn. If they didn't went to the corn, I'd have killed him.
Yeah.
But basically, he got past he turned around, he got past the briars. I swung on him, and I'm like this, and that's when I had like an inch of vital and shoulder blade, and I didn't want to shoot.
Smart.
Well, he turned around, and I'm getting ready. So I'm like this, I'm watching him, and I knew I just wasn't going to shoot, so I kind of lifted my head up like this, and I'm just watching. Well, then he turned, and he was going on the other side of the tree, and I'm like, okay, I'll shoot him right there. Well, as I was doing this, I'm breathing on my freaking scope.
Fog the
I
scope
didn't
up.
know. I had no idea I was doing it. Fog the scope up. He gets on the other side of the tree, and I come down, and I couldn't see a thing. I could see like a shadowy figure.
You
but
see
I
a silhouette.
couldn't- Yeah, I couldn't see my dots. I couldn't see my crosshairs, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And so I grab my glove and I wipe it, and by the time I wiped it, he was through that lane, and they just wandered off. And looking back, I don't know. I do wish I would have just shot him. I wish I would have shot him when I had that 2 inches of vital. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I'd say
He's been
it's-
real wishy-washy now. He's in there. He'll be in there at night, and I don't see him for 3 nights. So maybe I should have just took the shot. I should have took the shot when he was in that scrape. I had him at 25. I started to swing because if I would have swung and just kind of inched over like this, I could have killed him.
Yeah.
Well, I started to swing, and that doe he was with started stomping.
Ooh.
And I don't know if she was stomping because she saw me, because I couldn't see her. I could just hear her.
Yeah.
And I got nervous, and I just stopped. So I was mid-swing, and I should have just continued that swing. And he was like 24 yards broadside.
Yeah.
Should have just continued it looking back, but it is what it is.
Well, it didn't happen for a reason, obviously.
I hope so.
Maybe you're going to shoot like a 240 in like the last day of the season or something.
I would. Love
I don't
to
think
see
that's
that.
the case, but
I would love to see that.
yeah, he's a big deer. He's a lot bigger than I thought.
Especially because we'd be filming that.
Yeah, he's way, way bigger than I thought. I thought he was like 140 inch 10. He's a lot bigger. Not a lot bigger, but I think he's in the 50s.
Oh, for sure. He clears.
Yeah, he's in the 50s all day long.
Yeah.
Looked a lot bigger in person than he did on trail camera. But yeah, he's kicking my butt. And then the big one I was hunting, I had about a mid 60s 12 pointer. Broke half his antler off.
Oh.
So that was suspicion from another hunter,
Yeah,
right?
I think somebody tried to poach him. Yeah, I got pictures. Got a picture of him on Monday night, and then Tuesday night, both in daylight. So Monday afternoon, it was 4 o'clock. Fine, looks good. Tuesday afternoon,
Oh, you sent these in the group chat, yeah.
yeah. Tuesday afternoon, he has this hole in his antler, and the hole is it's like this groove that's shaped out. If he was to face you right here on the inside of his beam, where to me it looks like somebody had a 22, they tried to shoot him in the forehead and they missed and they hit his beam.
Yeah.
I don't know what else would make a hole like this. A groove.
Yeah.
I don't see an arrow doing it. I don't see a car doing it. I don't see it. A deer would have broke the whole antler off for a time.
Right, yeah.
It wouldn't have taken a chunk out of his antler.
No.
Like that.
A car would have been on the outside of the antler.
I had
And
a
it was
buddy
like-
that shot a buck one year, really big 8-point, close to the house, and it had a perfect hole in the G3. And he was like, "What do you think made that?" And you could just fit a 22 casing. You could just drop it down, or it'd stop at the rim. And I was like, "Someone tried to shoot that buck with 22 off the road, probably."
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I think. This deer's I think he's dead now. I haven't seen him since gun season. He was super visual. Like, a lot of people seen him on my
Like
road.
dangerously visible.
Yeah, like
buddy, you're gonna die.
in the neighbor's front yard. I mean, he was, a lot of people seen him. A lot of people knew about him.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. And it was, so I had him in daylight Monday, and I had him in daylight again Tuesday. Had to have happened Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
for
just,
sure.
Monday night,
time
Tuesday
frame.
morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I could be wrong. Maybe it was an arrow. I don't think
I don't
so.
see an arrow making that cleanable cut,
No.
especially with a broadhead on it.
Yeah.
And if you shoot a deer in the antler with a field point, you think that field point would just donk and just get stuck in there and bounce off.
And even a broadhead would either stick or take
Yeah.
a sliver out. This
Right.
is like a groove was cut.
It looks like
And-
someone drilled it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It was like half a drill bit right
I don't
through his-
know.
right through
Sounds
his
like a
vein.
bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was that episode for THP where one of their guys shot that deer in the antler and it stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it fell off after he went down to recover it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah. But
I think that's what an arrow would do.
that deer's antler it ended up falling off right where that hole was probably about 4 days after
Yeah.
I got them pictures of
It's
him.
probably so
Fell
fractured going up. He
Yeah.
probably went to make a rub and it just
Yeah,
cracked.
that's what I think.
Yeah.
He rubbed or got in a fight with another buck and it completely fell off.
Yeah.
I think he's gone. I haven't seen him since gun season.
Yeah. I didn't know that you hadn't seen him since gun season.
Yeah, I've seen him like Monday at gun, middle of the night, midnight or something, and then I haven't seen him since. So
That
he's dead.
that 13 point down south that I was chasing in October but passed on.
Yeah.
I hunted that property for gun week. I never had pictures of that deer, so I'm thinking
Somebody smoked him probably.
probably
He was a nice deer. He was young, but he was a nice deer.
Yeah. There was another one down there that I wound up.
should have shot him.
What an idiot.
It's probably bigger than the one that I shot, anyways. But yeah, there was another deer down there that I was chasing, and I saw him the first 2 days of gun week. But then I went
That was
home
a lot
on
more
Thursday.
bigger, more mature deer.
He was more mature.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was.
You said somebody killed him on Thursday?
I'm not sure. I stopped getting photos of him after Tuesday. And he was in there consistently.
See, the buck that I shot this year, it had been shot before. It's the first time I've actually seen that. When I went up and checked him, at first I thought it was my hit because one side, like the hair was still like scarred over. He had a patch. Then on the other side, it was raised, and it was, you could tell it was like an infection.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was like up high.
It's really high in the neck.
Yeah. And clearly I found out really quickly. I was like, nope, that's not where I hit.
Yeah.
But looking at the exit, like you can see that it was a broadhead. So he had been shot before, and
A lot of these older bucks
fairly
usually do carry at least one wound with them.
Yeah.
Well, that I wish I would have mentioned it when I had it in here, but that West Virginia buck, I said he come in, I routed him in. That deer had an eyeball completely gone. I mean, just it looked like somebody just reached in there and ripped it out. It was
Ugh.
nasty.
That's fresh then.
Yeah. It was nasty. He had 2 puncture wounds on his neck where I'm guessing he got in a fight and a deer hit him in the neck like this because he
Yeah.
had 2 big pus pockets right here perfectly in line. And when I caped him out, it didn't go all the way through because my cousin was like, man, that could have been from a gun or an arrow or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I'm guessing it was just puncture wounds from fighting another deer.
Right.
He had all them broken tines. He had broken.
He's probably a pretty aggressive deer.
And then he had a broadhead, and he got shot right in the shoulder blade, high in the shoulder. He had it looked like a 2-inch expandable, just with a big old pus pocket right in the top of his shoulder blade.
Yeah, a lot of those
That deer
old deer
been through
carry
a
a
lot.
wound or two.
so
Yeah.
I saw a picture the other day. I wish I would have saved it, but it was this guy that took his deer to the processor, and
Is it the one that had like 6 bullets and 2
he had
broadheads in
like
it?
a handful
Yeah.
of lead and like a couple different broadheads and everything. He's like, this is what they found in this deer. I mean, like a handful.
I saw that. I didn't know
of
whether that
like
was real or not.
projectiles.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of them. It's like, okay, now we might be kind of far fetched.
This was like
Yeah.
6 bullets and 2 broadheads.
I think I saw it on Instagram too.
Yeah.
I think it was what they got out of the deer for that season. I don't think it was one specific.
If that's one
deer.
deer, that's the friggin' Hulk, dude. Like you're not.
Yeah.
Well, there was a deer that we were chasing. This was years ago in the property that's not far from you, and I was chasing him, my dad and brother, and obviously the whole neighborhood too. Because when the neighbor finally shot this deer, he was, I think, a 6 or 7 year old, and he was a 12 point that was easily 180 plus.
I think I remember this deer.
And
Is this like right after we graduated high school?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Probably like 2013.
yeah.
Yep.
And when the neighbor shot him, he cleaned him himself. He said he got 2 slugs, a rifle round, and buckshot all out of this deer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I seen that deer. I videotaped that deer. in
Really?
Velvet. In
Really?
The summer. Yeah, me and Andrew Riker.
that was a big
We were out
deer.
groundhog hunting, and that deer come out, and I was like, "Oh!" And it was that later that fall, somebody shot it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say the name. But
I think he shot at Gun Week.
yeah, yep, it was Gun Week. They
Yeah,
killed it.
yeah, yeah. That was a good deer. He was huge.
Yeah.
180ish. You think?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Kind of lopsided. Like one side had a bunch of weird, almost like non-typical.
Yeah.
And then one side was like a
Just
pretty
like
big frame.
pure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep,
Yep.
that was that deer.
It had like a big spike. He had something cool going on the one side.
Yeah, he was a little injured. He had some funny growth. My dad called him Thunder, and I think that was a good nickname
Yeah.
for that deer.
I'll send you that picture of that buck where it looks like somebody shot it. I don't know. Just put a clip. Just put that still picture up of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. People. I don't know.
I
I don't. People in the area probably have it. It doesn't really matter to me. I think it's dead anyways. But yeah, I'd just be curious to see what people think. But I think.